Hey there, Elder Statesman back here again with another deck tech. Today we're going to take a second look at the Gruul Stompy deck I've been playing. I've made some changes to it recently, so it's a little bit different. Originally my plan was to try to hit Mythic on stream today, but unfortunately I went on a 4-13 losing streak a few days ago and dropped from Diamond 1 down to Diamond 3, so I'm only back up to Diamond 2, so I'm probably going to run out of time to hit Mythic. The metagame shifted a little bit once I got up into the top tier, so my decks weren't winning quite as much. At one point, this deck, the Stompy deck, was winning 75% of its games. Now it's down to like 66% of the games. People are more prepared for this type of deck. But let me show you what I got here. So, this is not the mid-range deck that you've seen a lot of people play. This is essentially in the same space as the mono-red aggro decks. It's very much an aggro deck. Now, the one big difference is you'll see there's no Llanowar Elves. I was running into games where I was getting dead draws because of the Llanowar Elves. I only really had 6 creatures to accelerate into that cost more than 2. And the worst was I had a game where I drew 3 Llanowar Elves and 3 Pelt Collectors as my only creatures. Still almost won, but I needed something with power 2 or better just to pump up the Pelt Collectors and make them good. So what I did was I took out the 4 Llanowar Elves. I added in a land to kind of offset the fact that I'm losing that. I added in 2 more Sunder Shamans to go up to 4 because I wanted a little bit more of the late game. And then I added in another 2-drop. And I changed my 2-drops. I was running the... Now I can't think of the name. The 2-drop Merfolk that explores. But again, I didn't really need the mana. So if I drew the mana, it's like, okay, well now it's only a 2-1. It wasn't as good. So what I switched to was a mix of Kraul Harpooners. Always a 3-2. Plus the reach and its enter the play ability are both really good against the mono blue tempo decks. They play an early like Storm Siren or something. I can hit it with the Harpooner before they have a chance to put a Curious Obsession on it. And then I went with Thorn Lieutenant. These are good against the mono red decks. The 3 toughness makes it a good blocker. It can block and kill most of the stuff they have. And if they use a burn spell to remove it, it leaves behind the 1/1 creature, which is a good blocker against some of the stuff they have left. So I went with that. It's also a good mid-game creature because it's got that pump ability. Pay 6 to give it the +4/+4. Other than that, it's the same. I've got my burn package here. Shock, Lava Coil, Lightning Strike. These are mostly creature removal spells. This is my big damage spell. When they chump block like a Sunder Shaman, I can use Colossus to give it trample and the +4. So a lot of times this ends up doing more than just 4 damage. Versus like a burn spell, if you burn away the blocker, that allows you to do 5 damage. With this, you'd end up doing 8 damage potentially. So this has been working out really well, and the collision side is also very useful against a number of decks. Being able to take out an Angel is pretty handy. So the rest of the stuff is Growth Chamber Guardian. When you can start chaining these together as 4/4s is pretty strong. Zhur-Taa Goblin's not the best, but a 3/3 will block a lot of stuff in mono red and force them to use a burn spell to take it out. And when you're forcing them to use their three damage burn spells on your creatures and not you, that buys you the time you need. And then these are the big ones against mono red because they have to use 2 cards to kill it, either a creature and a burn spell or 2 burn spells. And that's basically what we try to do, is run them out of their burn spells so they can't win quickly, because once we get to a mid game, this deck does much better. And then the 1 mana change I added in Gruul Guildgate, because I only have the Pelt Collector really as a turn 1 play. And I was sometimes having trouble casting the Sunder Shamans. I added this. It usually doesn't affect me too much, having this and not having a land that comes into play untapped. A lot of times I can play it either on turn 1 or on turn 3. Usually, sometimes on turn 3 I'm just playing another 2-drop. So that's basically the deck. I've played close to 100 games with it. like I said, went in about 66%. That percentage has gotten down. Once I'd gotten up to the diamond level, a lot of people are prepared to beat the mono red decks, and that kind of splash damages over onto me. I played a lot of Esper Control, and that's pretty strong against me. So, anyways, what we're going to do, we're just going to play a couple games here. Generally, what I've been doing is I play till I get my 4 wins for the day. That gives you the most gold, because those first 4 wins are worth like 500 something gold. And then after that, they become like worth 50 gold apiece. So, basically, that's what I've been doing this whole month is, I'll pick a deck I haven't played very much. I'll play till it gets a couple losses, and then I'll switch to my highest performing deck and play that until I get to my 4 wins for the day. And like yesterday, I had a good day. Yesterday, I went 4-1, so I gained 3 spots on the ladder. So hopefully I can do something like that and get back to Diamond 1 today. But just wanted to give you guys an idea of how this deck plays. It's like I said, it's not like the mid-range decks that people have been playing on like the Mythic Championship and stuff. I am planning on building that and testing that. This is more of a variant of mono red. Alright, a little bit of a slower start, but I do have all the mana I need to cast these. Turn 2, turn 3, turn 4. And I'll play the Guildgate on turn 1, so not bad. I'd like to be able to adapt to this, but most likely it's going to eat a burn spell. If it doesn't, I plan on using it to block a Pyromancer. Okay, I've drawn enough land, I need to stop drawing land. Seriously? I don't need any more land. One counter. Okay, he's probably going to try to play the Chain Whirler if he's got the land. Used 2 spells, and it looks like he's not going to be able to play either of those cards he drew, so that's good for me. I can't believe I'm just drawing nothing but land. That's 8 lands and 3 spells. We're going to get rid of the Lavamancer. Might have a burn spell to finish off my Shaman. Yeah. That's fine. But he's down to 2 cards. If I just try something other than land... Oh, that is not what I wanted to see. That's where the Sunder Shaman comes in handy. Oh, speak of the devil. Because it can take out that Experimental Frenzy. Okay, he could potentially throw a bunch of burn at this. I kind of want to keep the Goblin Black to block the Pyromancer this turn. So I don't have to use the Sunder Shaman, because I want this to live to take out the Experimental Frenzy. Okay, perfect. I'd be even better shape if I hadn't drawn so many lands, because I'd be able to follow this up with another creature, have another burn spell. This still might be enough to win. Okay, what's the best way to do this? I think it's this. I'm going to have to use the Goblin as a blocker, because I can't go down to 2 life. But that potentially could allow the Sunder Shaman to get in for 5 more, and then the shock finishes him off. Alright, I was able to do it. So, that was a tough one, because I drew so many lands, but this is the point of the deck. It essentially is the same space as a mono red deck, but because my creatures are slightly bigger, he can't just trade 1 for 1 with them. He has to use multiple spells to do it, and then he gets to the point where now he's top decking, which is what you saw there. Okay. Then game number 2. Okay, this one's better. Well, depending on what deck, I got a good amount of creature removal, so if I'm playing a creature deck, great. This looks like I am playing the Esper control deck, in which case the Lava Coil's dead and the Shock's kind of dead. Play this out. So the key for this is not overextending into a Wrath or a Settle the Wreckage. I'm glad I played the other Goblin. Oh, I really would have liked to get a 3rd land to get this Gruul Spellbreaker out, but that's okay. I'm going to play this while he can't counter it. Okay, there we go. Okay, I feel like the haste is what I need. If I can get 1 swing in, that drops into 8. 1 more swing in drops into 5. Is that going to be good enough? Yeah, that to drop into 1, that might not be good enough. I'll do this one as a 4/4. I'd like to get a hit in with the Colossus. That might be kind of tough. Oh, okay. Not a counterspell. I'm going to do haste now since he's tapped out. I'm going to get some damage in. If he had to search for a counterspell, okay, what's he gonna do? Is he gonna?
I'm known for my excellence.
Okay.
I'm not ready for this quite yet.
That's actually really nice because that allows me haste, and I can just shock to fairy.
This is hardly
Getting close. This is where they potentially could start taking over. Need a creature. That actually works. I mean, that's lethal if he does the Chemister's Insight. I can respond and kill him. Or I can respond to that. Yes! Wow, what a close game. I'll take it, though. Alright, let's see if I can get one more win here on stream and get back up to Diamond 1. Okay, I'll keep this. Always lead with the Guildgate, obviously. I'd like to be able to start chaining this. Alright. See what my opponent's got. Oh, he's playing red. So as much as I'd like to play this on turn 2 and then adapt on turn 3, that never happens. It always dies. So we'll play the Harpooner. And we'll wait and let him use up some of his burn spells first and then get this out and then possibly be able to start adapting it. Yeah, there's the burn spell. Okay. How do I want to do this? I'm going to attack. So I know he's planning on using the Firebrand combined with the Chain Whirler's First Strike to kill my Spellbreaker. And so the way to stop that is with the Colossus, and I'd rather do that while attacking so I get to take advantage of the +4 power. I also can do the same sort of thing on this turn with the Zhur-Taa Goblin, block, and then pump it up with the Colossus so I kill that Chain Whirler. Or he's attacking with both, so he wants to trigger. He wants to trigger Spectacle. I might just block this way. That way you have a guaranteed attacker next turn. Okay. I like that. I like where he's going with that. I see what he's doing. He's going to play another Chain Whirler. But I will keep my Spellbreaker alive. Oh, I didn't think about that. That's okay. Yep, I should have done the +2 in response to him burning as soon as he targeted my guy with the burn spell. Okay, he might have a burn spell here. He did not. Okay. Does now. Then we wait to adapt in response to the Wizard's Lightning. Now I'm going to leave this guy back to block this turn. If I use this guy as a blocker, that forces me to adapt before the first strike triggers, which then allows him to Wizard's Lightning it. All right. That's nice. That land's actually nice because that allows me to use the Colossus. Now here's where I attack. Interesting. Well, I kind of want to use this just to force him to use his burn spell if he has one. Because then that makes Colossus lethal. So I'm going to do that. We'll see if he's got a burn spell. Okay, good. So if he's got 2 burn spells, I'm in trouble here because he'll be able to kill. But I still can live through next turn, so we're going to swing in. And we'll give it a try here. I don't think there's any way he can kill this guy with 1 spell. So that's going to be lethal. Alright. There we go. Back up to Diamond 1. So, that gives you guys a good idea how the deck works. It does pretty good against the mono-red decks. Just because of the larger bodies, and then also being able to chain together those Growth Chamber Guardians is pretty big. So it's a fun deck. I plan for next month trying to get I think I'm missing a couple Skargan Hellkites to be able to build the mid-range version, but I kind of want to give that a try on the ladder. But definitely, at least in the lower levels, if you're still in gold. This deck will do really well. Like I said, I was winning at 75% rate before I hit the diamond level. So, like that. Alright. So if you enjoyed this video, please hit like and subscribe. Comment down below if there's any decks you'd like to see me try to build. If you have any comments on this deck, if you've tried out something like this similar on the ladder. And we will see you on Friday with a draft video.